don't think that the type of death that we're supposed to be talking about is twink death.
Oh
No,
no, but that's good. But yeah, let's talk about twink death for a little bit because it's
because
gonna lead us
you're
towards
about to
it's
endure it
it's
soon. You're on
it's
the
the shut the look
you're terminal.
listen
You're going
listen it's
terminally
a, it's
ill.
a, it's it's a terminal illness. Okay, I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be 30 years old and I'm gonna weigh
Yeah.
like 400 pounds and it's just
No,
gonna
I
be
don't know
the
about
day
400,
of
but you're definitely gonna wake up one day. You're gonna be like 30 pounds heavier. You're gonna have
oh
some you're gonna have some man
oh
boobs. You're gonna have hair in places that you didn't have hair
oh
before, like your
no
nose or your ears.
Why is this
no
like why is this like a fucking rundown of like the puberty talk you get in middle school?
Yeah, it's like a second puberty. That's what twinks endure, a second puberty.
God God
And then
oh
there you get wrinkles, and
oh
then
God I
things aren't
actually
as
have
things aren't as firm as they used to be.
listen everything is just as firm as it always has been. Okay,
I don't
you don't know
know.
shit. All right. Look, I
Goes
have
from
like
bubble butt to pop bubble butt.
I have like chronically I have chronically terrible nose hair. Fun fact about me. I don't know why.
It's gonna get worse. Double it up.
Ever since I like it gets so bad that I have to it's like hard to breathe sometimes. I gotta like rip it out because I'm not rich enough to afford
Your
your
stamina's gonna go down. You're not gonna be able to keep up
ooh.
with the younger folks. Get
Uh,
ready.
but yeah, what's been going on with you guys? How's your month been?
I haven't
It's been a while.
died.
True.
Maybe it should have happened to be in accordance with the theme.
Are you comfortable talking about your personal like medical stuff on here or not?
Yeah, I don't care.
No.
Yeah, so like what
Well,
happened
I don't care.
is
Elijah cares. Wait, are you?
yeah, Elijah, obviously. Hey Elijah, would you mind giving us your entire medical
Yeah,
history and
give
background,
us.
please?
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
HIPAA
absolutely.
compliance.
So it all started.
No.
No, but
I'm my health's
yeah.
like whatever. I'm taking meds for pain in certain places that one day you're gonna deal with, and
Oh, fuck
nerve
off.
damage and
Oh no.
all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, ribs hurting. Taking like naproxen every day for it. It's good times.
Nice. My
Yeah.
month was very interesting. I got a text from Andrew Tate's brother.
Oh
He
yeah, I
just
heard about
slid in.
that.
He
Yeah, I
just
saw
slid
that.
into my fucking DMs.
Yeah, and then you fucked it up.
Well, I mean, what the fuck else
You
am I gonna do?
absolutely fucked it up. You
He's
could have just
Andrew Tate's brother. What
you
the
could have
fuck
you
else
could
am
have
I gonna do?
easily like made him like retweet you or something on his
Yeah, you
account.
could have used it as a springboard for the
Yeah,
podcast.
just a retweet. Be like, you could have
This
said
But then
like,
twink
like
does
hey
not
everyone
man,
understand strategy.
no, who
but then
cares? Who cares?
we're gonna get a fucking deluge of like top G's. I don't want
Yeah,
top
that's
G
cool. As long as the
Yeah,
followers.
top
that's
G's,
fine. As
as
long
long
as
as
they're
the top
listening to
G's are
the
watching your art, who gives a shit?
Yeah. All I'm gonna say
All the
is
top
is
G's.
Andrew Tate and his
Like,
brother, if you
yo,
want to
bro,
hit
the
me up
transcended flesh
specifically
is
and
like
give me a
the real
sponsorship,
shit, man.
I'm right
It's a
here.
metaphor for the red pill.
Look, I will say the shit posting potential of that has been absolutely fucking fantastic. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
Absolutely hilarious just fucking with Andrew Tate now. I'm gonna get him to block me eventually.
Wait, you're fucking with Andrew Tate or his brother?
I have been commenting in Andrew Tate's post being
Oh,
like,
about
"Hey,
how his brother likes your stuff.
your brother slid into my DMs. What's up?
Oh yeah, you're fucking get
Report to
blocked.
the." He
See,
unfollowed me actually. Tristan Tate
Yeah,
fucking unfollowed me at
yeah,
some point.
because you fucked it up. You want to tell him how you fucked it up?
I don't care. Honestly, I don't give a shit.
No, yeah, but do you want to tell
I
him?
hate both of
Do
them.
you want to tell him
Oh,
how you fucked it
I,
up?
I actually don't know.
No, what
It
I told you like 3 times how you fucked it up.
well, okay, it might have been the fact that
Oh,
like he texted me.
might
He's
have.
like, "Hey, okay." He texted me and he said, "Hey, I really like your stuff," and I was great. Send me $10,000. Then I just started like harassing him. I was like tagging him and the Pope,
well,
telling
okay.
them
All
both
I
to like come to the
remember
war
is he
room.
said he liked your shit. Yeah, and you're like, "Oh my god, it's really the guy," and he's like, "Yep, I'm the guy," and then you're like, "Give me money."
Wait, why did you fumble the bag that hard?
No,
I don't.
he just said like, hey, give us money. That's basically it.
If I just want you to know that like the dictator of a small third world country could message me and be like, I heard you on that podcast, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's always good to meet a fan.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you. What is it? Who would it be? Thank you, Putin. Thank you for my.
Thank you.
Vladimir
Russia is a
Putin.
small third
No,
world
not small,
country.
but I was just thinking of a dictator or an oligarch.
Okay. So wait. If ISIS were to text you right
Oh yeah,
now,
no,
like the head
Yes.
of ISIS texted
Yes,
you right now.
Hezbollah.
I think his
Hezbollah.
name is Al
Yeah, I really like
Baghdadi.
your stuff.
Hezbollah is all about that Elijah tweets.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've been
Write it
tweeting out
down,
some
folks.
banger. You've been tweeting out some bangers. Inshallah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
there you go.
Listen,
all right,
my-
now we really
my-
went off the deep end here.
Yeah, now that we've got off the deep end.
we've
Also,
gotta- we've
hey,
gotta
look,
give us back.
I'm going
Let's
to
talk about death.
wait real fast, real
Yeah.
fast. I'm putting I'm putting a cap in it real fast. Okay, we're not doing the silence thing anymore. It's funny, but also it's so dumb. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, that's because it makes you uncomfortable. That's why you think it's
Yeah,
funny.
I
It
can't
doesn't make
handle
me
it. I'm too
uncomfortable at
social-
all.
I'm too socially awkward. Okay, I can't handle it.
I'm socially awkward, but I'm also socially indifferent. So
True.
there's a big difference there.
But yes, our
Normal
subject
silence.
our subject for the day is death. Just death.
Just plain old death.
Just plain old death.
The great
Um,
equalizer.
We it might get a little serious. I don't know if death is a trigger for you. That's your trigger warning for this episode. So get the hell out of here if that's, gonna fuck you up. If not, yeah, we're gonna talk.
If you're dealing with constant, what's it called? What do they call it? Mortality, anxiety. I think it is. There's a word. There's a phrase for it.
Thanatophobia.
I thought you were going to say if you're dealing with constant mortality, and I was going to be like,
no,
dude,
mortality.
everybody, what?
Fears like
If you are constantly dying, if you're just dying all the time,
if you're dying
then
right now, you might not want to listen to this.
If you are
Might be
dead,
alarming.
if
You might need to get your priorities straight if you're currently dying.
if you are dead right now, maybe give this one a skip.
Well, yeah, actually, no, don't give it a skip.
No,
Share.
share. Actually, share.
Yeah, share.
Comment,
Show up.
like, share, comment if you're dead.
Any
like specifically
undead,
if you're dead.
Undead or ghosts.
Any zombies, any ghouls, any vampires. We got
Just hit us
Dracula in the
up.
comment
Email
section.
any of us. We'll let you on. We'll let you on. It'll be great.
Yeah, if anybody can give us some documentation proving that they are a supernatural entity, we do take guests on the show.
And we take buckets of ectoplasm.
Oh, we should get a vampire on the show. Actually, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, we should. No, vampires
Anyway.
are actually kind of lame, but whatever.
Vampires are not lame. You ever seen a Dracula? You ever seen a fucking Dracula, dude? You ever heard of a little thing called a Dracula? Nah.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. They're lame.
I thought that what Dracula sounded like was this shit ain't nothing to me, man.
Oh yeah. That's the only vampire I've ever actually had a respect for.
I was flipping bricks for Mansa Musa before you was a type 1 civilization slime.
Yeah.
Okay. What do we? What
death?
Death. Yes. So, what do you guys think happens after death?
Oh man, you don't want to hear mine first.
Yes. Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah, it's got to be yours first.
No, you go, Elijah. No, you want to get the audience up before you tear them down. Go ahead, Elijah.
Okay.
You go first.
All right, Elijah, you go first.
Yours is probably a lot happier than mine.
After death, those who are elect in Christ are.
Wait a second. Oh no, you're a Christian. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. No, let him.
No, we know.
No, it's different. His version might be different. It's a different type.
It's not.
No, let's listen. Come
on.
Stop your
the elect in Christ are preserved for the bodily resurrection, and the ones who are not elect, which are called the reprobate, are literally just instantly destroyed. Like they just stop existing immediately.
I guess that's
sounds
better
like a
than
favor
hell
to some people.
What if you? Okay, so wait, like quick question. What if you like go to heaven and you're reunited with Jesus or whatever, but you seek obliteration, you seek like to not exist anymore? Should that like be an option?
Well, I don't believe in like secret spirit realm where good people go. That's like a heaven thing. I think that that's a Greek innovation.
Okay. So where do
But
the good people go?
the good people, you
Come back to life and are immortals, or
eventually, so it's not really you in a discernible sense. So it is your body and your person, but in a participatory sense. Like how we might say this is my neighborhood, but I don't own the whole neighborhood. So it's your body and your person and so on in a participatory sense. But I also believe that, and this is where we get like kooky and mystical,
yeah, I like it.
your body is also at that time the body of Christ, in the same way that the Eucharist is the body of Christ when it is consecrated.
Okay, so do you still retain consciousness?
Yes, you are still conscious.
Okay, so you know what's
Okay,
happening.
so like Jesus communism, basically.
Jesus communism gets pretty close to like a lot of my firmly held opinions.
Okay, but okay, so I actually have this is fun. We can ask each other questions like this. Okay, so what happens? Okay, so you're dead, you're conscious, you're now a part of something greater. You're essentially a Eucharist embodied, like with like maybe I don't know. So what is it what are your goals at that point? Do you have any? Are you an automaton at that point? Are you still autonomous?
I think that so because you are united into God, specifically, Jesus uses language that can be said to be like, you will become gods.
Okay.
And so to me, and that's gods as in plural, not as in
So
possessive.
like a pantheon is created?
More like, in my opinion, so God in the Hebrew is often referred to by the term Elohim, which is actually plural and means gods,
Mhm.
multiple. And there are references in the Bible to a divine council.
Okay.
And this divine
Is that
council,
divine council part of your own like belief system?
well, it necessarily must be,
Okay.
um, just because it's there, and I'm pretty orthodox.
Okay.
But the divine council, there's a lot of questions about specifically what that means. However, some people believe that that means that there's like multiple divine entities, whatever. This is where Mormons get their idea that they'll all turn into gods and so on.
And get their own
But
planets.
yeah, we can talk about them a different day. There's I would suggest that the divine council is the elect in God. And so your will after the resurrection is coherent, or not coherent, but congruent with the human will of Christ.
So
Um,
you so your will becomes his. So then how are you still yourself? Are you
they're
just
Wait,
like
just congruent,
so like
but
okay,
also you're not yourself,
wait,
right?
so like
okay, so you're not.
so
Yeah,
like if just to make sure that I'm understanding you correctly, the idea is that all cometh from God, all returneth to God, basically. We all become like one like God amalgam, basically.
more like you become a. So again, it's very mysterious, because of the like needing to reconcile. I also think it's worth noting that I don't actually think about the afterlife, dear viewer, at all. I think it's theologically counterproductive.
Okay.
Um,
But
but
there's plenty of people that do in your on your
yeah,
side
in
of
my
the
tradition, there's people that do,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
generally speaking,
that's
they
kind of the
believe
main
either in a conscious paradise or in what's called soul sleep, which is that, your soul goes to sleep and then one day it's resurrected. And then what the after the resurrection is like is not really relevant to us because it's so conceptual that there's no reason to really speculate.
Okay.
Because you kind of risk committing a heresy for no gain.
Oh,
I mean, that's kind of the main selling point for a lot of explicitly American variations on Christianity. Like the first thing that they'll like ask, like, "Oh, do you know where you're gonna spend eternity?" Type of
Yeah,
shit.
they
Like,
want to
yeah,
live in the suburbs forever.
yeah.
Like American Christians,
its own hell.
especially evangelicals, badly want to live in like a heavenly suburb. I find it very odd that they would assume that the will of God would look exactly like what they already have.
That's a bit odd. Yeah, that is a bit odd. Like God's gonna want like he's gonna have like there's gonna be a what do you call it, a homeowners association.
The
Yeah,
Heavenly
like
Homeowners Association.
well, and Jesus says in the Gospels, and this is one of very few times when he references, he says this in Matthew. I recently preached this text for a funeral. He says that he goes to, in my Father's house, there are many rooms, and I go to prepare a place for you. And some people interpret that as meaning like, there is a distant place that Jesus goes where we will have a special place where we can live and so on. Other people take it a bit more metaphorically. I'm willing to acknowledge that there may be some spiritual realm that Jesus prepares for us. I just oppose thinking about it
Is
because
that heretical to not think about it, or
Well, no, actually,
no,
yeah,
okay.
you're
because
just like booing.
I was kind of the same way back when I was a Christian. My whole selling point, because when I was a Christian, I was Catholic and I was incredibly riddled with guilt. So
Faith, by the way.
my entire thing was I don't care if I go to hell. I just want to be like you. I just want to like know God, blah blah blah. I didn't think about the afterlife. I didn't think about where I'm going. I just thought, okay, just I'm going to focus on this thing insofar as I can without like an intense focus on it, because I always felt like this idea of an afterlife as a reward was always kind of dumb and detracting from the point of religion, like in
Well,
general, I
it's
guess.
it's also in some sense, and I'll kind of try and like tie this thread up so that you guys can talk too, but it's kind of in some sense a I don't know how I would phrase this, but like theo decentralizing ideology because God is no longer at the center of the cosmological process, but instead human effort and thus human centric reward becomes the
Living
center
forever.
of the
Living
process.
forever
Yeah, like
becomes.
don't you want eternal life? Don't you want a fancy mansion you live in? Don't you want all these other things?
Don't you want
When
your virgins?
yeah,
I,
right.
I mean, I mean, a, I mean, a. Look,
Listen,
I'm
I'm
just saying
already on
that.
this podcast. How much more could I take? There's but no, there's, I think that it leads people to have this sort of thing where the only thing they think about is how do I get to heaven? When Jesus spent a lot more effort preaching a like new form of social organization than he did talking about going to a special happy place when you die. And that's why I think the it's not the oldest prayer in Christianity because there is a prayer older than the Gospels. But the prayer given to us by Christ in the Gospels says, "Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." This is a very important thing because that's not a strictly like celestial centric like let's try and go to heaven, let's try and go to the good place because that's what this whole situation is about
It's saying
kind of
Yeah,
mentality.
let's make the good place here and now.
Yeah,
because yeah,
I'm influenced heavily by social gospel and post-millennialist interpretations if anybody in the crowd plays the same game as me.
because yeah, there's this very okay. So one of the things that made me turn away from Christianity initially was I went to a Baptist congregation, and afterwards I sat down with the preacher and I asked him about things like climate change and the end of the world and blah blah blah. And essentially what he said was, why are you worrying about that? You should be more focused on battening down the hatches and weathering the storm and getting out of the ark into
Well,
paradise.
that's because a lot of modern Protestants believe in a very, very new heretical form of eschatology called post-tribulation rapture, which
Yeah,
is the idea that the whole world is going to go to shit, and then right after everything goes to shit, um, Jesus is going to come down and everybody's going to leave with Jesus. But that was
yeah,
literally invented in like the 1830s, I believe, by a woman who had a seizure and claimed that God talked to her. I am not
yeah.
bullshitting you.
And it
It's
was also made like popular literally by a series of fiction novels. And I know this because I have read
Yes,
every single
the
one.
Left Behind series. Yeah, the
Yeah.
Schofield Reference Bible is how it really spread, but the Left Behind novels are
Oh, this
in large
dystopian
part responsible.
post-apocalyptic rapture
It's
idea.
very American, right? It's very like
Yeah.
we're like the frontiersmen. We're gonna survive.
That's how you get a lot
Yeah.
of these apocalypse cults, right? That are still
Yeah.
consider themselves Christian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you get these because some of them turn into like almost like I know in some cases it has a possibility of turning into something as bad as like domestic terrorism, like just because it's like the idea of speeding up the process or
Yeah,
like um
Accelerationism.
immanentizing the eschaton. Yeah.
yeah, they're
God.
trying to
No, I
speed
have
up the
been using
rapture.
that. I have been ever since you said that on like the first episode we did together, I have been using the term eminetizing the eschaton so much. Like mostly
That's a
completely
good
out of
album
context.
name,
It's such a fun term. Oh my God.
or just a good book title for like a novel or something. It sounds rad.
Anyways, so Schizoid, your turn. Let's go.
My turn. Okay, so here we go. Let's see here. So as far as what I think happens after death, it looks like it's turning into the afterlife show, but that's fine. Um, I
So
guess
it's all wrapped up. It's
I
all
guess
wrapped up in
the
one thing.
death show died. But no. So my beliefs regarding that, I grew up obviously same as you, Catholic. Then my dad had like dabbled in some other forms of Christianity, and I got pulled into some of those. All kinds of different things, right? But I never vibed with any of it. It never made sense to me because of the whole, classically, as a child, I just all I had to do was watch my parents watch the news, and I'm like, this world's awful. And then I'm like, and then I kept getting told all the time that it was like God's plan, and I'm like, this is a shit plan. And so I used to always think that as a kid, and so I kind of stepped away from that stuff. Eventually, I became almost like an anti-theist, and then I got over that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is ultimately my philosophical position at this point is, as I might have mentioned in a previous uh, episode, I'm not sure, but my position is a product. I like to call it productive nihilism. So not it's not your traditional like woe is me, everything's over, give up on everything, there's no point. It's a I don't believe in some objective value. I only believe in subjective value. As far as like whatever human beings produce. So anything that comes from a human is entirely subjective at all times.
Max
Um,
Sterner ass.
but I don't believe there's objective good or evil, just created, and that's not to devalue it. See, I think that's where most nihilists go wrong. Is they perceive the idea that because there's no objective value, it has no value at all. I'm against that. I actually only care about subjective value and the ability to um, enforce enforce and support subjective values that mitigate unproductive suffering. Right. So that's kind of like my position regarding that. So that ties into my afterlife ideas. As far as post death is concerned, I'm not of the belief that it's going to have any specific structure, or motivation or reason for being there at all. So I do believe it's there, but I don't think there's a master plan. I don't think
When
any
you
of this is
say
planned.
when you say you believe it's there, you believe that there is an afterlife there,
Yes,
but
I
it's
believe in
completely random.
conscious. No, well, I believe in a consciousness after death, but I think it's just going to be um, more of souls searching for objective answers that don't exist.
So a continuation of what is, basically.
Yeah,
you have
but
taken,
in a different format. Yeah.
So you have taken what we have already experienced and you are applying that to the next life, because why not? This is all we know, and this is all there is.
It's just a new variation. I wouldn't be surprised. I have this funny belief that upon death and afterlife, quote unquote, rebirth or whatever, or if you continue retaining the consciousness you already had, you're gonna find people and then you're gonna ask them, what's it like here, what happens here, and none of them are gonna really have an answer. I think it's just gonna be another reset, essentially. Not Earth, but it's just gonna be, oh yeah, we probably, like, we die here too, and we don't know what happens after that.
Isn't this sort of a soft reincarnation?
No, because it won't be on Earth. I don't think it's still going to be this kind of more metaphysical existence, or ethereal existence, or whatever you want to call it, spiritual existence. But it's just going to have different rules, and it's going to function differently, and it's still going to be finite. And it's because, like, I basically just look at, like, I think about how would this occur if there is a scientific explanation for how consciousness can continue. And it is a natural phenomenon, then it's just going to be a continuation of the sort of existence that we currently possess, with a few changes in the rules. And I don't think there is a rhyme or reason that's objective for any of it. So it is going to be very disappointing, in my opinion, for a lot of people, because the people that wanted oblivion aren't going to get it. And the people that wanted a structured afterlife aren't going to get it either. They're going to get more disappointment.
God damn, that's actually pretty fucking brutal.
I have a question. Is this process terminal? Like, does it have an end point?
I don't know. All I know is that, I mean, it would be pretty cruel. The cruelest thing I can imagine is that there's a ethereal afterlife, and then that ends, and then there's nothing. So that's pretty funny. And then that one didn't have meaning, and some form of evolution is still in the process of creating the next step.
I think I see,
and it hasn't caught up yet.
I think I understand, like, what you're saying, and I actually kind of vibe with it. Like, just so I understand you correctly, what you're saying is that we can garner what may or may not be what it may or may not be like after death, based on our existence now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, why
if
not?
You have my belief, that's based on my belief system of there being no objective value in the universe, or in any universe, or any of it.
No, I think that's,
the thing that I am interested in here is this. Mm-hmm. You retain a sort of Atman. You retain a sort of, like, witnessing consciousness, a sort of core self, mm-hmm. which finds its way from existence to existence. Mm-hmm. You have independently invented dharmic reincarnation.
Oh, okay. Well, sort of. I mean, but sort of. It's sort of like that, but I think it's not going to have. If it is in fact anything like that, unlike people that believe in dharmic reincarnation, I don't believe it has any rhyme or reason that's objective in any way.
And I just meant that you have stumbled upon concepts that a lot of people fail to understand about reincarnation, like the Atman being not a I remain Elijah as such, but instead there's a sort of core witnessing consciousness, and everything else is like window dressing.
No. I still think I'm going to be
I misunderstood you.
I'm going to be Angst. You're going to be Elijah, and Chase is going to be Chase. It's not going to matter. It's just going to be like, oh, look, we're in a new place. Okay. And then when you look for answers, everyone else is still going to be speculating.
You know what your afterlife reminds me of?
What?
Have you ever played Wraith the Oblivion?
Oh, yeah, that's a pretty good one. I envision it more like the afterlife in Beetlejuice.
That would be fucking sick, actually.
No, where like you're just like sitting there, and it's just you die, and it's just going to be more bullshit. And it's
Yeah,
just going to
but
be,
like
and you're no, but you're still going to have to. There might be a social structure that human souls or sentient souls create out of their new existence. And
yeah,
so
yeah.
there's just going to be a whole new social structure. You're probably going to have a different kind of wagey cage.
Well, yeah,
But you're just going to be
it's
dead.
more
It's
it's
going to
more
be a dead
bullshit.
wagey
It's
cage.
it's more bullshit, but it's bullshit like with a vibe to it, you know? It's like
Yeah, but it's
aesthetic
still going to be
bullshit.
bullshit. You're going to get used to it. It's
Yeah,
going to
but that's
suck, and
objectively
your suffering
that,
is not going to improve.
that's objectively better than what I got going on now, right? Like
Yeah,
it's this, but with a little bit of spice. You know what I mean?
yeah, sure, but my belief is legitimately, it's kind of like falls in line with the whole um making heaven now idea,
Yeah.
because I laugh at the idea of people dying and then going, I'm in heaven. It's like, no, you should have made heaven already. Now you have another chance to make heaven, and it's still not heaven, and it still sucks, and
Oh,
we have no one else to blame but ourselves.
or what if you die
There
and you
is
get
a
there and it is heaven explicitly because the people there built heaven? That'd be pretty
Already?
cool.
Like they already built heaven?
I mean,
That's
fuck it.
unlikely. That's unlikely.
Hey, I mean, they've
I'll
had
say I'll say
like
So
this.
this
I'll say
unlikely.
this.
thousands of years, right?
Maybe if
There's
we
a
got lucky.
there's a poem I read one time that says uh I will meet God and demand from him, why did you allow this? His answer will be an echo. Why did you allow this?
Ooh.
And
No, that makes sense.
it was written right after the Holocaust, and I'm reminded of that poem in your sort of thing about you had your chance, you should have been building it before. Now you gotta go through new build
Here's a new
bullshit.
build. It's a new Minecraft server. But it's just,
Randomized seed.
yeah, randomized seed Minecraft server. But it's just like, that's honestly what I think is going to happen. That's why I actually, this is like weird, but that's why I concern myself with the advocacy that I do, because I care a lot about neurodivergent people, and I think about like the idea, oh, what if you're dead and it is like ongoing? Let's just say it's ongoing, but it's the same bullshit. It's not like finite like this life, but you're still in the same neurotypical social structure, and that's terrifying. And so I think, imagine someone that's schizoid like me, or autistic and with depression or something, because they can't, find a place in the world, and then they finally decide, that's it, I'm doing it, I'm leaving, and they do something, they do a backflip, right? And then they end up in a place where they can no longer do backflips, and it's the same social structure.
Ooh.
Talk about hell. So that's why in my mind I go, well, we need to create that structure or those connections for neurodivergent people, for each other, so that if for some reason there is an afterlife, then we can still work together independently, because chances are that neurotypical cognitions are still going to want to create the structure they formerly had on Earth. They're going to want their suburb. Yeah. So that's how I think about it. I also have this other weird belief, and this is more recent. This is more of a schizotypal kind of thing for me, some might say. But I've only been able to make close friends recently online in the last 2 years, and I'm like 40 years old almost, because I overcame a bunch of my shit. But what's funny about that is that now, because of my weird beliefs, I've legitimately told some of the people, friends I've made, I'm like, hey, do you mind? And most of them won't do it, but hey, I give it a shot. I tell them, do you mind sending me just like a profile of your face, like nothing else, like a picture, right? And the reason I say that is because in my head I have this weird irrational fear that if in fact I have to locate people in some afterlife and I don't know what they look like, I won't be able to locate them.
Uh-huh.
And so then I'm like, oh shit, I need to know what you look like. I need to have some memory of your face stored in my brain.
What if I don't got a face?
Well, shit. Then I'm looking for the guy without a face.
Yeah, right.
There's not that many of them.
Easier to find.
Yeah,
you're
really
looking for the one
There's not too many.
Face.
There's a couple of burn victims in you. So, and and failed suicide shotgun, people like in you. Oh, that just reminded me of that song. What's that song? Something without a face. Words without a face.
Words without a face or something.
No words without a face. I'm thinking of something. It's an 80s song.
No, I'm thinking of Bulls on
No,
Parade.
I'm thinking of an 80s like
it's so similar.
80s synthy new wave song, something without a face. Anyway, but yeah, that's my belief. I really think that, and I think it's also pretty trolly and funny, and I like the idea of being prepared for it philosophically and mentally, and when I see it and everyone else is crying about it and confused, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, this is about right. So
okay.
Are you thinking of Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face?
Yeah, Eyes Without a Face. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I got you. No worries.
Thank you. Yes, Eyes Without a Face.
Fucking boomers.
No,
Anyway,
dude, I had to
all right,
Google.
All right, now it's Chase's turn. Chase.
All right, it's my turn.
See your lame ass Zoomer take.
Honestly,
yeah, right.
Okay, so my official stance is agnostic, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I think it's kind of self-evident, right? I worked in the medical field, or I work in the medical field, and I have worked in the medical field for some time now. And I have seen people rot. And I'm not talking about their bodies, I'm talking about their fucking souls, right? I'm talking about like old people with dementia who are in retirement homes, who are shitting themselves to death daily. They have aspects of themselves left, but they are not there. The lights are on, but there's no one home. And I think it's self-evident that you exist as a series of meat recordings, basically, in your head. And that's not some like edgy take. That's I still find beauty in that, right? But the individual, in essence, you are a story. You are a recording that has been marked down by your very existence. And
by others, I'm guessing, and
not just in others, but by, I mean, you happened, right?
Yeah.
You will never not have happened. It happened. And I think that there's importance there. But regardless, I think that when that recording, imagine you have like a CD, right? And the CD gets scratches on it, and it's the only copy. What happens to that copy? But I also think that there is kind of more to it than that, because we happened, we are part of this grand tapestry of things. We see time as like a garden hose, right? As something that's moving forward, but really it's a tapestry. It's something that is, was, and will be. And I think that when we die, we just kind of fold into that. We become one with the totality of things.
So I mean, I'm interpreting that as a what's the word? A more I see. It sounds like a more romanticized, not romanticized, but like a romanticism sort of version of materialism.
Kind of. In a way, yeah. I
mean, you think brain death is death?
My official stance is that I have no fucking idea. But
I love agnosticism, because it's like, I don't know what happens, and it's like, yeah, neither do any of us. Pick a team, virgin.
Yeah, meanwhile, I'm the guy that's like, look at all these losers picking teams. Teams aren't even real.
But like, okay, so this is where it gets weird. This is where my shit gets weird, right? Because I think that tapestry is alive. I think that tapestry of existence is a thing unto itself.
So that in your mind, that exists in the material universe? Okay. Is it like a giant worm or something? Is it like an organism?
Like a big, I prefer centipede, right?
But yeah, like a big centipede, some kind of like eldritch centipede that collects like our existence, like
kind of,
and
but
adds
also
to its neural.
Yeah, kind of, but also we are the centipede. right? Like
We're a part of it because we're
yeah.
being imprinted upon its his infinite legs.
Yeah, like from
A
like a
millipede,
material from a materialist
Eternipede.
Eternipede.
Yeah, fucking Eternipede.
Infinipede. I like Infinipede.
That would be a fucking sick ass band name.
I know. Infinipede.
Infinipede.
Yeah.
But like, okay, from a materialist perspective, we are essentially meat cameras, right? We exist because like some rocks came together in space and some gas and shit happened, and now we are the universe aware of itself, which I am aware is like something a high white college student would say, but like unironically that's
well
true.
That's what you are though.
I mean, kind of.
You're
yeah
high white college
but I mean, unironically, like from a materialist perspective, that is kind of what we are. We are all kind of a part of this single thing. We are a single entity that is reflecting on itself. So when I die, the people who are still alive will still be there. And
is it
I will be
symbolic
them.
world type thing?
No, I'm speaking like very literally.
Oh.
This is like a very convoluted.
It's interesting.
Like, this is like a very convoluted normal afterlife situation in some sense.
I guess so. I think like this is just like my weird way of like dancing around the fact that I don't really believe in an afterlife, but also I kind of do. I don't know. It's weird.
So if Elijah's version happens, you're just getting deleted.
I'm just getting deleted, dude.
Yeah,
well,
which is fine with you because you already think you're
noting.
getting deleted anyway. Right?
Yeah, I mean there ain't no fucking difference. I mean, in many ways.
Yeah. So if Elijah's right, you get deleted. You already thought you were gonna get deleted from any other part of the timeline.
Yeah, you're the one who's gonna become like the fucking Jesus amalgam. So I mean, you know who's
yeah. So
Jesus amalgam.
This is what I love about my belief system. Mine would just like it would make everyone sad.
Okay. Vote now. Who has the best afterlife scenario?
No one's gonna vote for mine. Mine is awful.
Everyone's gonna vote for
everyone that's sad now is gonna remain sad.
Everyone is going to vote for Angst because no one's going to vote for mine. Like, I've heard it too many times.
No, your
it's like if somebody asks you what's the best Christmas song, nobody's gonna vote for fucking Last
Mariah
Christmas.
Carey?
Give you my heart, or whatever the fuck.
No, that's better than the Mariah Carey's. All I want
for
Christmas is you. That shit got memed into infinity at this point.
My friend actually has a really interesting take. This is not my specific take, but it is a really interesting take on the afterlife.
Typical artist, you just stole yours from someone else.
No, this is different. This isn't mine. Okay, this is different, right? So his idea is that as human beings, we literally cannot comprehend what it is like to not exist, and when our brains stop existing, there's nothing after that. So his idea is that, I don't know how accurate this is, but I have heard, and he has heard it said that when we die, our brains release DMT, and this is why we have things like near-death experiences where we like show up and like the devil's there and he's like hanging out. And his idea is that the DMT release is the fireworks show that you will live in forever, because that is the final moment.
There's a problem with that theory, though. Well, I mean, I guess that means that like you're better off at this point. Like if he was right, then that means and I'm not
you
condoning
should just
this.
An hero now.
No, yeah, I'm not going to condone it at all.
Well,
yeah, what if you should just An hero with morphine now?
Well, no, here's the thing though. If and like obviously not me. Let's talk about like your average Joe. Your average Joe is not complete in his life, right? Your average Joe, but because like the thing about DMT.
No, the reason I'm saying this, I think you misunderstand. The reason I'm saying that based on this theory, you should Am hero now, regardless of how complete you are, right? Is because what if you get taken out by a means that doesn't allow this process to occur.
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
What if you get like shot in the head with a shotgun while you're in traffic,
what if
and
you
now
just get
you're
nuked?
just in like what if you're just like trapped in like
burning
traffic forever?
Horrible hell.
Oh god,
fire! Like
there's
no,
so
like,
much.
like or just like your head. Like you just get your head exploded. That's not going to give your brain enough time to release any DMT.
God, no,
there's not going to be any DMT getting released.
Yeah, because
your head exploded instantly. You're just
no.
In this scenario, there's you either have to make sure you die slowly. Yeah, you either have to make sure you die slowly, or this ideology encourages us to like guarantee that we extend the life of elders as long as possible.
No, but even
so
then, the
because,
elders have a chance of like getting like falling, like breaking their necks by falling off the bed,
fucking
severing their spines.
You're completely right, but also like I mean, like, assume that there is no God, assume that there is no divine plan.
Yeah.
The randomness of what we experience after death, like like how fucked it is, like the randomness spectrum, that would like fit in, right? Like just you fucked up, now you're fucked, basically, just because that's just how life evolves. That's just how it is. I mean, it would be fucked up, but I mean, it wouldn't exactly be out of character for reality.
I like the idea of DMT being like distributed at light speed, so that
like your brain is just suddenly flooded with more DMT than you've ever seen in your life.
But like it somehow has the ability to like magically like distribute DMT at light speed. So the moment it like detects, oh, my head's about to explode, like it starts just on like light speed unloading it. So that
you just get the fucking Spidey sense. You're like,
you know what
it
reminds me of? You know what's hell? Like one of the most hellish things I've ever seen in media. One of the most horrible things I've ever seen in media was did you guys watch Invincible?
I did. Yeah. I love Invincible.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't seen season 2 yet, and if you spoil it, I will fucking
No, I haven't yet. No, in the first season, the death of the Red Blur is the most horrific thing I've ever seen.
Oh, dude, he gets his fucking melon scrunch, dude.
No, it's not about how he dies. It's about his powers in conjunction with how he died.
Oh god,
he felt that moment for days.
Wait, does the Red Blur have like the flashes thing where like
no, he can't control? But but no, he can't. The problem with the Red Blur is he has very little control over how he perceives time. He tells this to his girlfriend. He says, "For you, this might be like a few minutes at the park with me, but for me, it's been hours."
Oh my
god! So basically, he felt his head getting crushed, like
and his arm
for days.
Snapping.
But the process was days.
Chest. Oh god! Oh,
because
poor Red Blur.
Because I thought about it, and I'm like, well, that's the thing. Omni-Man has the ability to blow someone's head up instantly, right? And so there's a possibility that though it was like enhanced for the sake of the show. There's a possibility that he caught Red Blur and blew up his head instantly.
Or Omni-Man knew and wanted him to suffer.
Or Omni-Man knew. No, I don't know. Omni-Man doesn't care about that. But point is,
it's worth noting that Omni-Man does not cause any intentional suffering unless it is to make a point. That little fight scene was 100% a targeted hit. There was no point to be made.
Yeah. I don't think he...
So I agree that it's...
I imagine he blew up his head pretty fast. Like, but it
I'm gonna
hop in here.
I'm gonna detract from the Invincible.
Hey, it's still death. Discussion. We're talking about death.
Wait, I actually have a whole thing here.
Oh god.
So my undergraduate degree was in philosophy. I specialized in ethics, and I trained under a bioethicist. And so I thought about death a lot in that context. Specifically because of a very curious thing most people are not aware of. We don't actually know when most people die.
Yes, actually, no. This is something that I want to get into real fast, and I'm not trying to cut you off. Like, hold that thought real fast. No, I'm just gonna pop in real fast. So, in my research for this episode, I came across this. This. So, okay, you guys are familiar with the suicide force in Japan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
or as I like to call it, the what do you call it? The Logan Paul for
the Logan Paul, fuck off. Anyway, so up there it gets real chilly, right? Especially in the winter. So like I don't remember if it's in the winter, it doesn't fucking matter. This woman, she climbs the suicide mountain forest, whatever, and she hangs herself. She gets found 24 hours later. But remember, because the rescuers find her, they don't know how long she's been dead. They do CPR, they take her to the ER. She comes back to life 24 hours later. And the reason that happened was because the climate was so cold at that time that it slowed brain death. It slowed the rate at which the cells in her brain
or body
died. Yeah, or her fucking body, right?
Yeah, she partially cryogenically froze herself. Like,
well, yeah, and that is because, right, when you die, your brain cells still fucking exist. And it takes time, days, for all of your brain cells to really like shut off and die. And I don't know if I buy into the weird thing that some people believe in, that on some level you're like conscious, or rather like subconscious, and that there's still some like faint activity going on. But the point, like death is not a threshold, it's a fucking process, you know what I mean? And it happens over the course of a very long time.
It's worth noting that for questions of ethics surrounding death, for example, voluntary euthanasia or something like that, for questions of ethics, it's pretty damn essential that we consider death to be a threshold. And the reason why is because we have to rule out ideas like brought back to life, or else we can never establish a point at which it is okay to treat someone like a corpse. And what I mean by that
I
is,
disagree only because
I also disagree with that.
Well, I disagree because you could treat someone like a corpse once their brain is in different places and exploded. Like, I mean, it's just
yes.
Well, okay,
But what I'm
so yeah, no, sorry.
okay. So what's generally stated is that it is a permanent cessation of key bodily functions.
Mhm.
So, like, I think it has to be a permanent cessation of key bodily functions accompanied by a permanent cessation of consciousness. The reason why this presents difficulties for some bioethicists and for some doctors and so on, most doctors are bioethicists whether they realize it or not. The reason why this presents a problem is permanent, because of stories like the one you just told, where the police would have been, or the ambulance or whatever, would have been well within reason to cut that woman down off a tree and zip her up in a fucking bag. They would have been well within reason.
I mean, her body must have been frozen to shit.
Yeah, like
ultimately though, doesn't that come down to our understanding of how long it could take? It would come down to time, right? Like if you have that threshold, then you would have to have a specific time at which, okay, you've been dead for this long.
The challenge I would give you is this: what is the mid state? What I'll call the gray state. What is the gray state between alive and dead? Because dying isn't it. Dying is I'm alive, but I'm going to be dead soon. There's not a clear gray state between living and dead. It appears to just be some people are living, some people are dead.
You could, okay, so what, and there are a lot of issues with the way that I used to think, but the way that I used to, I guess, solve this and solve a lot of other problems is that the line that I drew would be on sapience, or, you know, like your ability to be aware of yourself.
Well, that unconscious people aren't aware of themselves.
The unconscious is aware.
Okay, I guess
it gets weird. It gets fucking weird. I don't know. And I was stupid back then. But basically, I would argue that until there's like no activity, you still exist on some level. right? And my definition of dead is non-existence. I don't think when your heart stops, you're dead. I don't think when parts of your brain stop, you're dead. I think when you no longer exist, you're dead. Because
when no part of you exists, or when no part of you is still alive.
Yeah, when the record of you no longer exists, when it is.
Hold on, wait a minute. That means that fucking Napoleon isn't dead.
Dynamite?
No, Dynamite.
Fucking Zoomer. Anyway.
Dude, no, Napoleon Bonaparte.
Was that intentional, Caesar. Or was that like a?
No, that was I was just fucking with you.
That was
okay.
great.
No, I was just gonna let us play
that.
Was
really good comedic timing.
That was really good bait. I'm not gonna lie.
No, the comedic timing was solid.
No, but like I actually agree with that, and that is why I consider weirdly, and this is my weirdest death take. I consider art to be in a way human. I consider stories to be human because remember, I was talking about how we are in the end stories that are a part of this grand tapestry, right? And you're right, Napoleon in many ways is still alive because the memory of him is still alive, just in the same way that a book or a painting is alive.
You remember cigarette burns?
Exactly. Yeah, dude, fucking cigarette burns.
As long as someone has a memory of you, you'll always be suffering.
And that is not to say that the value of a piece of art is equatable to the value of someone who is still living.
Human life.
But yeah, like like would you rather say the Mona Lisa
we were going to say that they were equivalent, but
yeah, no. I'm just saying for listeners out there, I would save the toddler.
Chase officials take.
Fuck,
beautiful art is far more valuable than some human lives.
It's worth thinking about this too. There's some weird like logical implications of this. For example, if I were to tell you that I think only certain living people deserve this or that particular ethical right, then you would rightly object to that. Because if there's going to be rights, they should be loosely.
Well, you already have that belief.
Well, yeah, I don't believe in ethical rights.
No, but you believe in afterlife ethical rights.
Yeah, but that's about
fake communist detected.
Well, okay. First of all, rights-based ethical formats are liberal as fuck. But
I'm just saying
there is a no. But think about this: what are the ethical implications of Napoleon being a living person?
I mean, because like historically, or like
no. I
don't understand.
When we talk about Napoleon, when we make movies about Napoleon, when we these other things, what are the ethical implications of him still being alive?
I think that so first of all, what you would have to do there, what we have to do is we have to differentiate between a story told and a story being told, and the process of being told. Right.
Yeah, but isn't when you but when you tell a story, that's just a new story.
If you had to choose right now between all records of who's a really cool guy? Napoleon wasn't really that cool of a guy. Oh fuck! I don't know. Fuck it, Napoleon. All records of all records of Napoleon are wiped out, or the Mona Lisa is, or the
all memories somehow.
And all memories are wiped out, or I don't know. The fucking Mona Lisa is burned, and all memories from the Mona Lisa are burned. Which one would you?
Mona Lisa, easy.
Really? Why?
Because the Mona Lisa does not leave a strong causal wake that we would have to rediscover.
Oh, fuck. Big synchronicity moment. This is completely unrelated, but Napoleon actually owned the Mona Lisa for a while. Ooh. Whoa. What does that mean?
Think about this.
Sorry, no, go on.
It's funny.
Like, the shape of Europe was largely formed by the Napoleonic Wars. So...
Yeah, who gives a shit if we know or don't know about how it was formed, right?
Because there would be a gap in the middle of our history.
Yeah, and we would have nations make claims based on history.
Yeah,
nations make claims to sovereignty based on history.
Right, but pieces of
a really
art-
good example is like Alsace-Lorraine. Alsace-Lorraine in France has been this piece of land that France and Germany have been playing tug of war over since the Napoleonic Wars.
So wait, for clarity, before I bring up my next point, are you saying that the differentiation is that like human beings have impact on material reality, whereas pieces of art don't?
I'm saying that you picked a piece of art whose impact is entirely localized to the Western world,
Okay,
and
fair.
you compared it to erasing all memory of a man who
Okay,
reshaped the
bad
great
comparison.
powers.
Bad comparison. Okay, all right, fair. Well, okay, what about like, but like my point is that
let's just go ahead. Let's see. Hey guys, do you want to pick between Starry Skies, Vincent Van Gogh, or Martin Luther
Joe
King?
Stalin.
Martin Luther King.
Okay,
Everyone just suddenly forgets like giant portions of the civil rights movement. Like,
but like, okay, my
and
point.
then there's other things too as well that we have to think about. All record of him disappears. Okay, so does that mean all texts that mention him? Because that means a bulk of Western political theory talking about World War II disappears because of the term Bonapartism.
No, we're getting too meta here.
Oh my
but
God.
like my point is that I mean art can shape the world too, right? Like look what 1984 has done to America.
So true. We actually are.
We live in it
in
right now, for real, for real. Get out of here, Elijah. That's like those boomers that post those memes that are like that with the calendar. You know what I'm talking about? Where he turns the page and it's like 1984.
Literally 1984.
We
1984
literally
is happening right now, and I can tell because someone asked me to wear a mask, and I strongly suspect they were an immigrant.
Whoa.
1984 is not happening right now because I would still be inside my mother's vagina.
Shut the fuck up. God damn it.
I'd be in her fucking uterus right now. That's what
wait,
bursting forward.
Wait, what year? Okay, weird question, but what year were you conceived?
9 months prior to nine or so months prior to my birthday, which is in 1984.
Your birth date is 1984? Shut the fuck.
I'm 39 years old. Yes.
Do you wait? I love Chase having a moment like you just said your birthday was 4/20/69. 1984 is a normal year for someone active in our society to have been born.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that have been born in 1984 currently alive.
All right.
Wait, I have colleagues in my program who are like 40 or 39 that are therefore born in 1984.
Haha, the funny number. Haha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut it short here a little bit because I am fucking exhausted. But this was good job.
Dying?
Good job, guys. I'm
Are you dying?
Yeah, I'm dying.
Actually, here's the more important question. Could you define your state as potentially a gray state between living and dead?
Yeah, I mean we're all dying. Right?
You know what? Yeah.
We're all dying. Just some of us aren't dying in different ways. In the case of Chase, it's twink death.
I am going to fucking find you. I am.
I don't have to experience twink death. That's a form of death only you will experience among the three of us.
'Tis better to have been a twink than to have never been a twink at all.
All right. Anyway.
All right. But yes, thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, smash that motherfucking bell.
Bell? Now it's a bell. They don't say
is it a bell?
button.
Is it still a bell?
It's a bell, but you have to
it's
smash it twice now. You have to smash you have to smash the subscribe button, then smash the like button, then smash the bell, and then amongst the bell options, choose the bell, smash the bell that says that you're gonna get notifications for all of the things we post.
You guys got a lot of fucking.
It's like 5 smashes or something. You gotta.
You guys got a lot of fucking smashing to do. You better go get smashing. Like
just
right
get
now.
to smash it.
Start smashing. You better just.